right now. Oh, I'm so mad. I messed up. Hey everybody, happy Teensy Tuesday. My name is Gianna. If you don't watch my videos yet, welcome. It's so nice to have you here. And I make videos and I put them out every single Tuesday. I make videos about a lot of Disney stuff, about a lot of lifestyle stuff. So I got a bunch of stuff going on all the time. New content, again, going up every Tuesday, 12 o'clock Eastern. And if you're not subscribed already, go ahead and subscribe. You could turn on those notifications so that every Tuesday you get a little ding on your phone, and then it'll be like me doing something fun and cute. And then we can just like do this every week and it'll be super fun. So again, if you're new here, hey, and if you're not, hey. I made a video a while back called, I think it was called Extinct Disney, and it was about Club Villain. So Club Villain was like a little moment that Disney had. It was so cool. It was like one of the best experiences I had in Walt Disney World. It was truly incredible. It was amazing. It was like this club. I'll link the video down below so you can watch all about Club Villain. It was so fun. But today I'm back because I wanted to talk about something else that I did in Disney that no longer exists. That was one of the best experiences of my Disney life. I actually wanted to start this video by saying it was the summer of 2017, but it was actually the summer of 2015 that I did this. So that was 4 years ago. That's a really long time now. But it was one of the coolest experiences I think that was ever offered at Walt Disney Resort, and nobody I know has ever heard of this. So I think I was really lucky to be caught up in this and to find out about it and to go and do this. So I love these little like moments in time that Disney has where they do these really cool things. Then like it sucks when they get rid of them, but then it's cool because I'm like, oh, Club Villain was so fun. And people are like, what was that? What was that all about? And I'm like, let me tell you. So I'm here today to tell you about an offering I did in summer of 2015. I wasn't working for the company yet. I was just there having fun. And it was a tour that they were offering for the summer. They were offering 2 tours. And the way that I found out about this tour that I specifically went on was that I always on the Walt Disney World website. Like I used to be like on it all the time. And they have like different categories of things you can look at, and there are like extras, like not theme parks, not hotel stuff, but just like other stuff. Usually it's like the fireworks, dessert parties, or like the Fantasmic dining packages, things like that. Sometimes they have different tours that you can do. So this summer they launched, the summer of 2015, they launched 2 new tours. They launched a culinary tour of the Contemporary Resort where you basically got to go into the working kitchen at the Contemporary. You got to like get a tour, and then you got split up into groups and you got to make 5 different courses, and then you got to go up to the California Grill and you got to like eat your meal with the chef that like all of you made, which sounded amazing. But there was another tour that sounded even better and I couldn't afford the both, so sorry, my nose is itchy. So I picked not that tour, and I called back later that summer to book it because I really wanted to do it, and unfortunately the tour was already over, so that was terrible. But the tour that I ended up picking was called Escape to Walt's Wilderness Tour. Now, even like the name of this tour sounds incredible. I have pictures I'll be putting up throughout. They're not fantastic because again, this was 2015. What kind of iPhone did I have? Who knows? But it wasn't taking great quality pictures, but I did take some photos. Again, I wasn't into like the whole social media thing then, so there was less, but I do have some pictures that I will put throughout here. So I just want to like paint the picture for you guys of what the tour was like and just kind of tell you like everything that happened. So the tour started at 8 in the morning at the Contemporary, my favorite hotel, so I was pretty hyped to be there. I wasn't staying on property, I was staying with a friend. We drove over to the Contemporary at like 7:30 in the morning and we met in the back. So we just walked through the hotel, and in the back by the Mickey like topiary, there was 2 tour guides with a clipboard, and they gave us all name tags. And they kind of explained what the day was gonna look like, and then we got into 2 different pontoon boats. So we split our group in half. It was a very small group. It was about like 6 of us in each pontoon boat. So we took these pontoon boats out on Bay Lake, which was already exciting because I had never been in a pontoon boat before, and our tour guides were driving the boat, and it was very cool. So we went all around Bay Lake, and they were telling us all different stories about, I don't want to say the company, but basically like just like cool facts about Walt Disney. So we were learning like a lot about Walt. The tour was all about Walt. It was his wilderness tour. So guess he loved the outdoors and nature. So we talked a lot about like the different animals that live in Bay Lake. We all got binoculars and we got little guides about these birds that were around, and they took us out to one spot and then they had us all be really quiet so we could hear these like bugs. I don't remember. I just have like a vague memory of that. But the allure of this tour, the part that I was so excited about was that there was nothing about this tour online. The only thing that you could read was that it took you to river country. If you guys don't know me, or you don't know what river country is an old water park that closed in 2001 in Disney World on Bay Lake. So it was like very innovative because it used like reclaimed lake water. It was like lake water that was pumped through a filter of some sort. If you look it up online, you'll find a million things. Basically, the water park closed down after attendance of Walt Disney World went down after 9/11. And for, I mean, good reason. A lot of people died at the water park because there was like a brain-eating amoeba. There were like safety hazards. If you watch these videos of like the commercials, you'll be like, what the heck? There was like a rock, like quarry that you could slide down. It was crazy. But river country is like a big fan thing. Like a lot of like Disney fans love the river country. So the allure of this tour was that they were like, we're gonna bring you all to river country. And I was like, how? How can you bring me to an abandoned water park? Disney would never. So I was like, I gotta go on this tour. So we went around Bay Lake. We went to the little spot where they, you know, let us listen to the bugs. And then they told us this really cool story that I had never heard before. But basically that when Walt came to survey the land for Florida to see if that's where he wanted to put his project, Walt Disney World, he took a boat out on Bay Lake and he actually like crashed or like ran out of, I don't know what happened. If he crashed, ran out of, there was probably not gas if he got tired, but he ended up on an island, not Discovery Island, but an island to the right of that. And he was stuck there for like a lot of hours before somebody came and found him. I'm sorry I don't have a better like description of that story for you, but that's what they told us on the tour and I thought that was crazy. So I was like, whoa. And so the tour guides were like, so basically we like to say that Bay Lake is the only attraction that Walt ever rode in Walt Disney World. So I was like, this is cool, and we're here, and then Walt was here, and this is fun. So then they bring our pontoon boats over to river country so we can see inside of it, and they kind of explain what river country was, and they didn't say like why it closed, but they explained that it had closed. But we got really close up, which was really cool because we got to see inside of river country. You can see inside of river country even if you, well, now you can't because it's, since then it has been paved over, but you used to be able to just rent a boat at the Contemporary and ride up to the river country and like see it. But it was cool that they like guided a tour there and like brought us up and parked us and like let us really look at it. And then another really cool thing that they did was Discovery Island is on Bay Lake. It's a small island that used to have like animals and things like that way back in the day. If you were staying at one of the hotels on Bay Lake, you could take a boat to Discovery Island and you could hang out with the animals. Basically before Animal Kingdom was a thing, it was like tiny Animal Kingdom. You can like see birds and there were people there that, it was basically a little walk-through zoo, right? So that has also closed down, but they took our pontoon boats up to the entrance of Discovery Island, another abandoned attraction in Walt Disney World, and everything was still there. The ropes for the queues were still up. The fans, there's a picture I'll put of like where they brought us to the entrance where you can see. We didn't get out of the boats or anything, but they just pulled us up right there. But the fans were like wilted flowers. Like the fan blades looked like this. It was so spooky, but it was so cool. And now, since the last time I've gone on Bay Lake, you cannot go up to that entrance anymore. They completely blocked it off. So there's no way to like look at what's inside. So this was like a really incredible thing that Disney did, this tour, because they gave you access to things that otherwise you probably would have never had access to, and now you really can't ever again. So I thought that that was worth it alone in the tour, but it gets better. So they bring your little pontoon boat over to the spot called Marshmallow Marsh, which I'm not sure if it's there anymore because at the time that we went to Marshmallow Marsh, it was in the way back of Bay Lake, there was one singular cabin standing there, and they said at the time, this is a prototype for a DVC hotel that's coming. So I think they built the cabins there at Marshmallow Marsh, but I could be wrong. So we pull up basically to this little marsh, and we just get out of the pontoon boat. Like, there was a person standing there, but we just like jumped out of the boat, which one, safety, and two, there are alligators in that water. Not that we were like, you know, in the water, but we were really close. So again, something that Disney would never do now. I'm sorry, this video is getting long, but it's really exciting, I promise. So we get out at Marshmallow Marsh, and there's a man standing there, and there's 2 tables with picnic blankets, and everybody has a little breakfast setting, and he had a fire going. And I was like, this is so chic. So we had breakfast. They had these little containers for us with cinnamon buns. There was an egg frittata. There was granola. There was that pog juice. You know, everybody loves that pog juice. There was a little fresh fruit salad. It was truly like a camp breakfast. It was so fun, and it was so old school because we were like on Bay Lake in this cool spot that I've never been, eating breakfast, and then we got to roast marshmallows. So we're roasting marshmallows, and all of a sudden we hear like clop, 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 and everybody's like, what the? Because nobody knows what's going on, because like this tour wasn't even like a thing. You couldn't even research it. Even now, I researched it before I made this video, and there's nothing about it. There's literally nothing about this tour. It's like it never happened. There's like a huge 2 horses and a wagon. We start taking it towards like the Circle D Ranch at the Wilderness. So the Wilderness Campground. So we're going over there, and as we're like clopping along, is that even the word? I don't know. What do horses do? I guess. They have us play this little game where we like tell a story, because they're like, oh, well, love to do like storytelling. So we like each went around in a circle, and you know that game where it's like, once upon a time I ate a sandwich. You know, like one of those games. And it was really fun because they like incorporated all of the things that like Walt loved, and then they gave us one of those cool towels, but they stay cold on you. And they gave us a water bottle. So already I think that this tour was a fantastic deal, because it was $109, but for the stuff we got to do, and then I'll like continue on, but we got breakfast, and then we got water, and then we got those cool towels, we got the wagon ride. I mean, like, there was a lot of stuff going on, and it really wasn't expensive at all. Like, I did not appreciate this as much then as I should have. So we're on this wagon ride, nobody knows where we're going, and then we just kind of stop. And we get off of the wagon, and we're like kind of walking through like the brush. And we're walking, and then they're like, oh, look, you know, Walt loved trains, and look down, we're on these train tracks. And we're literally on these train tracks around the Wilderness Campground, because there used to be a train that went around the whole Wilderness Campground, I believe. I'm saying that right. And Walt loved trains, you know, the classic. Walt loved a train. So we're learning about trains and walking the train tracks, which I thought was so cool, because that train obviously doesn't operate anymore. There's no more train there, just these abandoned train tracks. We're walking the train tracks, and all of a sudden we come to this like opening in the forest, and there's a woman there, and she's like, hey everybody, come on, we're gonna go practice our archery. And I was like, this day like cannot get any better. So they teach us all how to do archery. It's like camp, it's so cool. They have these big hay bales set up with targets on them, and everybody gets a chance. There's like 2 rows, and we actually got like a ton of time, because again, there were only like 12 of us. So they really taught us how to like do archery well, and they taught us how to like, you know, pull the bow like Princess Mia style. He's touch your mouth, you know? I thought it was so cool and so much fun, because it was such a throwback, like back in the day, and we were really like using all the stuff at Disney that I never even knew was there. So once we were done with our archery lessons, we got back into the wagon, and it took us over to the Tri-Circle D Ranch. So for those of you who don't know what that is, it's right outside of Pioneer Hall and Trails End, which is where Pioneer Hall is where Hoop-de-Doo happens. Very fun spot. But there's a little Tri-Circle D Ranch, which is where they hold the horses. So we got to go into where they keep the horses, and they showed us all the different horses that they have. They showed us the one that goes down Main Street for Halloween, that is the Headless Horseman horse, the really, really huge one, the gigantic horse. And then we got to like pet some horses. I wish I had more pictures. We got to pet some horses, we got to brush some horses, and the horse woman or the stable lady was in there, and she like taught us all about these horses. And then we got to go outside, and there was a little tiny like pony, and it was so cute and white, and it like had little pink eyelids, and it was, her eyes were closed, and it was so cute. And there was like a smaller boy on the tour. He was probably like 8. You had to be 7 to be on the tour, but so the horse or the pony had like a little like saddle bag, I guess that's what they're called, and our tour guide was like, can you come up and like see what's in the saddlebags? The little boy like went up, and there were these like beautiful, like real actual horseshoes, like metal or whatever a horseshoe's made out of, like gorgeous horseshoes that said like Disney something. I literally had mine hanging on my wall until I moved home. It was hanging on my wall in Florida. It was so cool. So I need to find that again. But everybody got a horseshoe, which was awesome. So like, this was the best value ever. So we got to do archery, we got to go on pontoon boats, we got to go in a horse wagon, we got to go to the ranch, we got to do archery, we got to do all this really cool stuff. We got breakfast, we got water bottles, we got this towel. I mean, like, honestly, there were so many things happening. So that was right there. That was like basically the end of our tour. It was a 5-hour long tour, so we got a lot of time to do everything. And then at the end, this is like the best part. They give us wristbands so that for the rest of the day, we could go to the rental spot for Fort Wilderness, and then you can get kayaks and bikes and something else for the rest of the day. So all day you're set with like something really cool to do. So we like took a bike and we went down the bike trail, and we didn't take a kayak out or anything like that, but it was a beautiful day. It was well worth our money. I wish this tour was still up for Disney, and I wish I took that contemporary tour. Oh my gosh. Thinking back now and being like, oh, 109 is a little steep for one tour. I should have paid whatever it was for that contemporary tour, because that would have been incredible, and I know nothing like that is ever gonna happen again. So I just wanted to tell you guys about this tour because it was so cool. It was honestly such a fantastic experience, and Disney is always, you know, very innovative. Everything's constantly changing, so I'm sure there's gonna be something cool coming up sometime, but this was truly one of the best experiences that I ever had in Walt Disney World, so I wanted to tell you guys about it and show you guys my pictures and share my story. If any of you have been on this tour, please let me know, because I want to hear your stories, because I have never heard anybody else being on this tour before. But happy Teensy Tuesday, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your loving support, your kind comments. I love watching everything you guys say every week. You guys are the best. So thank you so much. Happy Teensy Tuesday.